What's up, everybody? My name is Braden, and today I'm going to be talking about the Pickleball Apes Pulse Series. The Pickleball Apes Pulse Series has 3 current shapes out right now, with an X that'll be coming as well, so they'll eventually have 4. They have the Pulse E, which is their elongated version, the Pulse S, which is their hybrid version, and then the Pulse V, which is their wide body version. These are their Gen 3 paddles, their latest release, and they've been making a splash in the market. So let's jump into it. Let's talk a little bit about their specs and kind of my initial gameplay thoughts with it. So some of the specs that make this paddle special, let's talk a little bit about the technology that goes into it. The Pickleball Apes Pulse paddle starts off at $199, so a little bit more on the pricey side, but with the discount code, you can get that down to $180. The surface is Kevlar and nylon, so that gives it a little bit more of a plush feel, especially after the break-in. I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to the gameplay. But after the break-in, it gives it a little bit more of a plush feel, so as the ball's coming off, it's not harsh feedback. The core is a narrow cell honeycomb poly, and they've got that right in the core. It has a floating core, and then it's got 2 foam walls that go completely around it, which leaves that honeycomb poly right there floating, and then they've got carbon fiber that capsulates that foam right there, and so kind of gives it a little bit more of that Gen 3 feel when the ball's coming off the face of the paddle. Swing weight for the Pulse S specifically is 114. Great, felt fast in the hands. It's RPMs. John Q had clocked it at just above 2,100 RPMs. So it's got kind of S tier spin. It's 16.4 inches tall. It's 7.6 inches wide, making it a hybrid paddle. And then it comes in at just above 8 ounces. 8.2 to 8.4 is what they marketed as. It's got a 5.5 inch grip length, which is perfect. I use 2 hands for drives and dinks, and so I never feel like I don't have enough space, so 5.5 inches is great. And it's a 16.5 millimeter paddle, so just above your standard 16 millimeter paddle. So the dual foam edges covered with the carbon fiber core gives it that floated core in the middle. And that's what makes this paddle feel special, and kind of why during gameplay it is kind of standing out to a lot of different reviewers online. When I first got this paddle, which was about a month ago, when I first started drilling with it, it had a harsh feel to it. It felt very stiff. And then after the second play session with it, all of a sudden it had a break-in. And it wasn't like a gradual break-in. It was one rally, it felt stiff. The next rally, it felt forgiving. And it was immediate. I did not like the way that it initially played. I didn't like the feel of it. And then as soon as that break-in happened, I felt much more confident with my drops, and I've really started to enjoy the paddle. Over the course of the last month, I've been maining this paddle now. I don't feel like I struggle at all with control, but I still have put-away power on full swings. 3 paddles that I mained was the Ruby 16 millimeter, the Mod TA 16 millimeter, and then the Bread and Butter Shogun 16 millimeter. And I loved the Ruby for its softness and its play. I loved the Mod TA just because the power was fun. It was soft, but then once it broke in, it was just uncontrollable, and I no longer enjoyed it after that point. And then the Shogun was so soft, but I felt like I was missing some power on putaways, but my control game was great with the Shogun. And I feel like this still has the control of the Shogun, but more put-away power. Definitely not up there with the Mod TA15, but it's creeping into that power category. So I would put this as an all-court leaning power on the paddle, and I've modified this paddle just a little bit. I've got about 1.5 inches of lead down in the bottom corners here, and that just makes me feel like I have more push through the paddle. It came in at 114 swing weight, so I felt like I could add lead to it. So I feel like I have more push through with the paddle now, but it also broadened the sweet spot a little bit. All the balls coming off the face feel great, and I've really come to enjoy it. So would I recommend this paddle? Yes, I would. If you like all court, if you like hybrid shapes, this is definitely a great paddle to buy. I think Pickleball Apes has killed the Pulse series, and I think they've got themselves a winner on hand. So that's it. That's the Pickleball Apes Pulse series. The S is the only one that I've hit with, and I really enjoy it. I'd recommend it to anyone. If you guys have any questions, comment down below. If you like these quicker formatted reviews of paddles, feel free to subscribe and tune in. But thanks for joining and watching, and have a good day.